Dear participants, dear speakers, we are pleased to welcome you on our AIDS Info Day. Today, we will go through all the main aspects of the non-financial support that offers the Seeds of Bravery project. My name is Yulia Sinchuk. I'm the project manager at the Ukrainian Startup Fund. Today, I'm working with my colleagues. Sviatoslav Svetnenko, co-founder of Innovate, founder of Mission Possible. Katerina Dechtyar, a director of the Vacuum Deep Tech Acceleration Program. Kasper Somalnein, startup advisor, Alto Innovation Services. Michal Olszewski, acceleration manager at Funding Box. Declan Fox, senior consultant at Access Big. Oksana Krikun, head of entrepreneurship and acceleration, Innovate. And Olena Skirta, head of Deep Tech, Innovate. We want to remind you that Seeds of Bravery project is funded by the European Union under the European Innovation Council. So let's get it started. And I want to welcome Sviatoslav Svetnenko, who will tell us more about tools and support to attract equity and non-equity capital via Funding Lab. Sviatoslav, you're welcome.
Thank you, Yulia. Indeed, I would like to underline the support that is provided by European Commission, European Union, and European Innovation Council. And as our listeners know, Seeds of Bravery is not just providing non-equity grant financing, but we have a really big portfolio of non-financial support services. I will start with Funding Lab, and then my colleagues from different organizations and partners will pick up to tell a bit more on their activities and initiatives. So Funding Lab goal is to provide startups in the program a little bit more opportunities in terms of follow-on financing. Within Seeds of Bravery, we have projects, grant programs for 10,000, 25, and 50,000 euro. But of course, we all understand that for deep tech startups, having fuel is essential for success. And of course, we see that many participants already look to raise or in the process of raising a venture round, or looking at EIC programs like accelerator program to further support the growth. So we can go to the next slide and tell a bit more of what our plans with the Funding Lab. As you probably know, Seeds of Bravery is a consortium of about 20 organizations, majority being European stakeholders, European partners. And we as activity leaders, Innovate, we also work with Lux Innovation, Plug and Play, Funding Box, Accelerates, and Hello Tomorrow to support startups and DaVinci Labs to support startups with hands-on advice and a number of projects like proposal writing bootcamps, specifically for EIC and Horizon Europe projects, and pitch trainings to support founders to be able to communicate better, to present better, and to eventually win investors, right? So the key goal of Funding Lab is to increase opportunities and to increase the number of investment eventually flowing into Ukrainian deep tech startups. And we are starting with Funding Lab very, very shortly. By the end of summer, we'll have first startups benefiting from our support. But let's move forward, Julia. So the timelines that we have within the first component focused on equity fundraising, we'll work with the specific startups to identify what are their needs, what are their stage, what type of investors they are looking for, what's the investment thesis that we'll be looking at VC funds. Then we'll be providing a lot of hands-on support within our team and key experts involved in Seeds of Bravery and key mentors that will be working with startups to really provide insights into how to better structure the pitch deck, how to work on the financial model so it's fundable and can be presented to investors on the whole, data room documents, including the legals, and we'll also provide information on the core stage of fundraising process from initial warm outreach or cold outreach to a term sheet and then investment deals. Of course, we'll be working with a number of venture capital funds to foster the opportunities available for Ukrainian startups, and specifically for startups and scale-ups within the Seeds of Bravery. So on a timeline, it will look like the first initial step of understanding the needs of the startup via a number of calls, while preparing some documents with you, then the hands-on advisory and guidance, and eventually engaging with investors and hopefully helping to close the investment deal for you going forward. Yeah, so when we speak about the needs assessment, usually we will provide you a survey to fill. So the startup will be able to answer some simple questionnaire and provide some details. So we then collect it and understand better what can be the journey of a startup. And of course, we'll have a couple of back and forth one-on-one meeting to understand a little bit better the stage and nuances of your industry or your specific technology. Yeah, Yulia, please go on. Then we'll proceed to full months of workshops and expert sessions. Again, with maximum focus on hands-on support. So we'll be helping you with financial modeling, with legal, with documents to be prepared for in terms of investment cycle. We also work a bit on the pitch, helping with a number of partners to be involved into that, especially from VC funds. And we will be happy to also support initial conversations or prepare you for initial conversations with venture funds. And we are happy to work on this with Plug and Play, because Plug and Play is one of the most prominent acceleration programs with a really excellent network and access to capital that we will leverage to benefit startups that will be a part of the Seeds of Bravery program. We also have big structures that we'll get into more details with startups who will be selected for funded lab, and now we can move forward as well. Yeah, Yulia, we can move forward. So, and final part of the program is indeed to understand how to communicate, how to speak to investors, how to reach investors, and how to strategically understand what is the best type of investors, and how to start the conversation going. Of course, we always recommend to have the warm intro, but at the end of the day, given lack of deep tech investors in Ukraine, will eventually also utilize the cold outreach techniques and tools that we have at our disposal to support you to reach investors, communicate with them, and potentially close the deal. Yulia, next slide, please. Yeah, again, it's a distribution for the week. For the weeks that a startup will be a part of our program. You see a lot of workshop type activities, but also a lot of really one-on-one sessions and hands-on sessions and advisors that will be provided with partners for you to succeed and to raise capital. Now we can move forward to the next slide and to tell a bit more about the other type of finance. We of course also see Seeds of Bravery in many regards as a first or as one of entry points to larger opportunities available within the European Union, specifically Horizon Europe programs, but also the programs from the European Innovation Council that funds basically Seeds of Bravery. And you may know some of the companies that already received financing under EIC. That's Politeta, that's Solar Gaps, a couple of other companies, Relief Paper, who are success stories, and we want to see more of such stories. And that's why we, as a part of a Seeds of Bravery project, will have a number of workshops for startups who are willing to explore more how to basically write proposals and to get into EIC programs where you can raise up to 2.5 billion non-equity financing, and also an equity component that is provided by European Union. And here we'll rely on also expertise from Lux Innovation, from Funding Box, Da Vinci Labs, and Ukrainian Startup Fund. Going forward, we can say that we'll have at least 4 proposal writing bootcamps planned for these 2 years, for 2024 and 2025, with specific focus on getting into EIC programs. Right? I guess it is important also to have really practical steps, because sometimes you're focused on getting into some of the programs and you prepare proposals, but also even registering on the participant portal, getting your peak number participant identification code will help you to immediately potentially receive requests or invitations to join us, European projects or potential European projects. And we'll have a number of practical steps to help startups also to be integrated into wider European Union, financing, deep tech financing area. And I would also like, on the next slide, I would also like to describe a bit how we see these 2 days of training, right? So you will be introduced to the EU grant, landscape in a way, both in terms of cascade financing available, where you apply for a small grant that is managed by a consortium of partners. And you will also have a lot of information on EAC programs, specifically Pathfinder and Acceleration program, that will then in day 2 of the training will lead to one-on-one work and practical work, so we can see some bits and pieces of the proposal, comment on that, and help startups to prepare a better proposal and to eventually become also EAC champions and active participants of European research and funding programs. Julia. Yeah, that's it from me. You can always reach me or somebody from the team via LinkedIn or email. And now I'm giving the floor back to Julia to present our next speaker. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Svetoslav, so much. Now I would like to invite Declan Fox, who will tell us about increasing literacy of Ukrainian business angels. Declan, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, guys. Hope you all can hear me. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. Thanks. I'm delighted to be here today, and I'm delighted to be presenting on the literacy program for investors. It's 4 slides, and the formula is quite simple. I want to get across that we want to re-engage with business angels, that they will re-engage in turn with the startup activity with Ukrainian companies. So it's how to get the whole ecosystem and momentum behind the program is to get business angels working with the companies again in part of the funds or directly through direct investments, etc., with ourselves through the angel network. So the literacy program, slide 1 is the why. So it's to increase the overall awareness of the program, of how it works for business angel investors, and get them back into the system and get them back into working and give them the knowledge and the know-how and the tools to make investments in startups. So we can give them the guidance and help, etc. We've done that. So we want to make this kind of a special program for them, geared at Ukrainian companies, so they can attend all the sessions and they can meet with junior business angels, can meet with experienced business angels, etc. And we can hear stories and we can get anecdotal evidence and give good feedback on how this has worked historically and how it's going to work in the future, and how some current prospects are getting ready for investment, and these are the ones to watch, etc. So look, we'll help pull all that together. They will all register their details in the network through the Seeds of Bravery and the Seeds of Bravery demo days, and they'll all be upfront with that, and they'll be invited along, so that's good. So what we want to do is ultimately establish a business angel investment club in Ukraine. So I think it's missing at the moment, and from our analysis, it could be filled with the number of investors out there and also with the opportunities which are presenting. So that's something we want to kind of form over the course of this program. And again, if that happens and it starts to work and investments are being made, that means the flow of money is happening. It's going from individual business angels to the companies and engaging with startups to make them go to the next stage and get ready to do their Series A or their Series B funding, etc. So that's the focus, and that's why we're doing it. Moving on to slide number 2. The audience, again, all business angel focused. So number 1, it's investors who would like to get involved in angel investing, okay? And we will help them to gain the knowledge and know how to do that. And again, we want to increase the numbers, so we want to be very open to new business angels coming in with fresh ideas and fresh thinking and fresh capital to co-invest with other business angels or invest directly. So we want to kind of grow the numbers to get this kind of club working. So angel syndicates, angel club admins will be looking to professionalize their club. So there are rules and regulations about running these syndicates, and we have ran them in Ireland successfully for a number of years. We've invested significant monies, so we'll be given the feedback of how we have formalized that and given the structures to make that presentable to everybody, both the companies coming in with the prospects who want to get invested, but also for the business angels who are seasoned or the emerging ones who come on board. And also we want to re-engage with some business angels who may have invested in the past, and we want them to get back in again to engage, to invest in the future. So I mean, with all the turmoil that's happening at the moment, there could be some lapsed investors which we want to bring to the fore again. So that's the overall audience on the program. So moving on to slide number 3. So this is the mechanics of it, how it's going to work. So there'll be 2 investor literacy programs run during this program. They'll be run in September to November. That's a 3-month period. So over a 3-month period at the end of 2024, and also a 3-month period starting in Q1 2025. So they're the 2 windows of opportunity which we're mapping out for this now. And we will run up to 5 workshops per program over this 3-month period. And they had to be scheduled in, but we have a structure in mind how that will work. Again, everything will be run over Zoom. That seems to be working well so far, so we'll do this. And again, all registrations will be through the Seeds of Bravery social media. All advertisements and promotion will happen there. So we'll have a good idea who's enlisting in advance and who to work with there. So each presentation will be open to a wide audience of potential investors, existing investors, high net worth individuals, corporates, SMEs, etc. So we'll be targeting seasoned investors and emerging investors and lapsed investors and new investors. So we'll be trying to capture them all and invite them in, and we'll be doing that series of workshops, 3 to 5 workshops per 3-month period, i.e. in the end of 24 or the start of 25. So we'll be open to them all, and we'll be happy to go through the mechanisms for that to make them proficient at investing. So if you can move to the next slide, please. Now we'll detail what we'll be going through in the program. So there'll be a series of workshops, and the presentations will cover areas such as a high-level introduction into how business angel investing works. So we'll be giving them first principles like of the rules and regulations on that to make it easy and to make it understandable. And we'll be creating the expectations for both the angel investors and for the companies presenting their opportunities. So we'll lay out the landscape there. We'll also give some guidance of how a business angel syndicate will work in practice. By that I mean there are structures, there are rules, there is paperwork, there is a paper trail. So like who does due diligence, how's that handled, etc. So we'll give a lot of guidance on that and how it's working and how we have it working in our own syndicates here in Ireland. Again, we want to build up case studies. We want to get a number of case studies underway from business angels and professionals who can tell us the good news of how this is working, and give case studies of they invested at a certain point in time so much money, and then the next round was 12 months later and there was an uplift of in price. So everybody kind of does well. So it's important to get the case studies working and anecdotal evidence. So topics which we'll cover is how to manage deal flow, how to screen companies in and how to screen them out, and how to kind of screen them for the next session. So some companies will come and they might think they're ready, but we will actually look and show you how to screen them and say, you're not quite ready, come back in 3 months' time. You have to put these 2 or 3 things together. Like, so you might have to look at your valuation or your comparisons, or what's your revenue generation plan. So we'll model different ways of looking at that. And then how do we run pitch events? So there's an art in that, and getting it right and getting the right number of business angels at the events. And you don't want to overly ask all the business angels at the same time to come. So some might be interested in health and some might be interested in IT. So you can kind of tailor that towards the type of angels, which once you get to know them better. And then thereafter, if there's interest, it's what we call the deep dive follow-up session. So we go into the prospect in more detail, and we enter into due diligence. We do our first pass of due diligence, make sure everything is kind of stacking up. And then a member of the syndicate, etc., will help us with more detailed due diligence and come up with a position on that. So there are a series of checklists, and there are a series of proposals which we go through. So it's a matter of actually working through that due diligence model and then coming up with a process then, if that checks out, to invest, and the various documentation which is required of that. So that's the investment process and the documentation to support that. So the output really will be shareholder agreements, which are palatable to both the early stage company and to the investors. And a lot of the conditions in there are to grow the company and also to grow upside for the investors, but not to be an impediment for future rounds of investment. So we have to make it very fair for the current people going in, but also make it straightforward for follow-on rounds to happen. There's no issues there with certain preferences or different classes of shares, etc. You know, so syndicate agreements are in place for a number of people investing at the same round, at the same value, at the same conditions, etc. So that's how we can actually go through the process and how it works. And then managing portfolios, so it's like somebody will have to be appointed to manage the portfolio. So if you had 3, 4, 5, or 10 companies in a portfolio, you'd be looking for status from them on a quarterly basis, and then an annual roll up, and getting ready for the next funding round, and what's their team and what's their technology, what's their traction, how are they doing. So we have to understand how the portfolio will manage, etc. And then assist and manage and document exits and funding rounds as they happen. So exits could happen earlier than we think. Funding rounds, there'll always be the next funding round to do. So we have to manage the expectations there on the exit events, and we also have to manage the expectations for further funding rounds. But above all, we have to manage that in a timely process with a structure, because there will be a number of business angels there who are seasoned investors, and they will expect a certain level of paperwork, a certain level of communication, and a certain level of timing. So the timing of communications is key. So that's the kind of the 4 slides on the literacy program. So we're happy to kick that off later on this year and get it underway. And we'll take feedback at any stage as we harden this off. So we look forward to getting stuck in and delivering on this. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Declan, for your presentation. And now we are moving to the next question of our agenda. Business creation, acceleration, and support programs to address the existing gap created since the beginning of the war. And ladies Katerina Dekhtyar and Oksana Krikun, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you so much for the intro. I'm Oksana Krikun. I'm head of this program. And for the Booster, we call it Booster, the Digital and Deep Tech Acceleration Program from Innovate organization. So the program goal at all is to booster and give the tailored support to startups TRL 7 to 9, and to get the feedback from the market, to get the best advice from the mentors to accelerate its operations on Ukrainian and abroad market for startups. And the main focus of this program is to give a very tailored support. So all of the program which you will see below is designed for the startups based on the cohort we will have in, based on their focus of work, whether it's more in biotech or health tech or more in agri-tech. And based on this, we support the startups in a very tailored way. So for whom it is, it's for startups from Deep Tech Scale Up and Acceleration Program, TRL 7 to 9. It's crucial, so it's more for later stages startups. And what is inside, it's a 12-week online program with group workshops and sessions, which will be held mostly online, but some of them will be held in person too, if possible. It depends on where the startups are. And the workshops will be about advanced business modeling and hypothesis validation for deep tech startups, on the business development and sales and marketing for the startups, because from what we know and how startups behave and the feedback we got, there is a huge gap in sales and marketing strategies and execution. So we are helping with this, particularly with the program. Then about the IP strategy development and how to perform this strategy and how to build the IP defense strategy, as well as for the whole program, we will have individual pitch trainings to prepare those startups for funding, for next accelerators, whatever their goals are. So this is if to look at the program in brief. Additionally, what we will emphasize a lot, those are individual mentors and mentorship sessions during those 12 weeks. Those will be one-on-one or one-to-group sessions with startups with the same needs and goals, and there will be personal mentorship as well as a group mentorship from mentors who are specifically specialists in some of these areas, like business development or hypothesis validation, with startups to help them to achieve their goals, their specific goals, which they will have at the beginning of this program. And then additionally, we will have inspirational breakfasts with some entrepreneurs to get their knowledge and skills and to ask them the questions. And those will be entrepreneurs who are on the later stages of their development of the deep tech startups and probably on the corporate level already. So just to help the startups from our batch and cohort to get not only inspired, but also to get some skills and understanding of where to move on and how to move on there. And additionally, we will have the networking sessions and community sessions for the cohort, as well as the open community sessions. So please stay in touch about this program. Please, next slide. And additionally, we also want to identify the industries and our partners for this for the Booster Digital and Deep Tech Acceleration Program. So the industries which are of the highest priority and which we are building the program for are the health tech and med tech, as well as we will have some quantum biotech startups. Also the data intelligence and AI space startups are welcomed, and the startups who are working with the future of workplace and HR tech, as well as agri-tech and climate tech. So those are the batches, the batch startups which we are looking for. Please join, as well as you can see to the right the partners, the primarily partners at this stage. Those are Innovate, DaVinci Labs, Plug and Play. But in the future, we are looking at developing the partners portfolio, and it will heavily depend on the startups we will have in our cohort. So we will select specific mentors based on the startup needs more. So that's it. Please join the Booster Digital and Deep Tech Acceleration Program. Thank you.
Thank you, Oksana. Katerina, now I think...
Oh, sorry, the last one, just very briefly. So we will have 5 cohorts, and those are preliminary dates. So the first batch will start in July, like the 6th of July, and we already will have the batch soon. But the second cohort will start in October, and the third, fourth, and fifth cohort will start like somewhere in January, May, but those will be, the dates will be more precise in autumn. So that's it.
Thank you, Oksana.
That's final. Yeah, please omit this slide.
Yeah. So basically, the Deep Tech Accelerator, it all starts from how you apply as a startup, because when you go to the page of Seeds of Bravery, as a startup for your application, you choose to which application stream you will apply. And if you choose one of the streams like Rebuild Ukraine or Scale Up and Acceleration, then you will have as the key and like the core program that will guide you through all the process, either the Digital and Deep Tech Booster or the Deep Tech Accelerator program. And once you have applied and successfully have been granted the sub-grant agreement, then one of these 2 master programs, they will guide you through the whole process, both on the side of acceleration and on the side of how you follow your milestones. In one of the previous info days, we have already been speaking about that in very deep detail, and I encourage you to watch earlier demo days, info days as well. That will explain the process of your application and of your reporting as a startup. So to make this process like smooth and efficient for everybody, in every application stream, there is something that we call individual follow-up plan, and it's being created inside of the any and each of the MAS programs. And for different streams, they might be Deep Tech Incubator, Deep Tech Accelerator, or Digital and Deep Tech Booster. So, and all of these programs, they're pretty short. They're like 12 weeks, while the whole program is 6 to 8 months. So with the core program, with the, for example, Deep Tech Accelerator that I'm running, and I'm running it like part of HOS, and basically my duty is to coordinate the participation of other partners, and I will tell a little bit more about them. Our task is like to do the entrance into the all diverse program of non-financial support programs. That's why, as a program, and you can see it in the list of topics and how we do it, specifically in Deep Tech Accelerator, we go really deeply into, again, idea validation and testing, because even if you're at TRL 7, it's never too late to validate whatever you have discovered about a product. So we go heavily of like how we do it. We go heavily into zooming in into all the lean canvas, into every block of lean canvas, how you validate it. And that part will be delivered by the contributing partner, which comes from the Baltic countries. That's the Sunrise Valley Park, the Technopark. And there will be another like whole bunch of workshops delivered by Plug and Play, basically about the open innovation, because they're one of the key things that they're like super strong with is establishing partnerships between the world of startups and the world of corporates, and they do this transition in a very smooth and efficient way. So most of their workshops is about how the corporate innovation connects into the startup world. And also, as the other program and as the partner, they will be doing the matchmaking, and most of the matchmaking activities that you can find inside of the Seeds of Bravery, they are created by the Plug and Play. So there's also Erasmus Center of Entrepreneurship as the contributor, and there's also Da Vinci Lab as the contributor as well. So we do not do like breakfasts. We run mainly online as one of the reactions to the actually the current day that we are living in, to the war. Like this is the online, because as a startup you can be located not exactly in Kiev or any other city, so you can be located as an applicant anywhere, plus you're eligible to apply even if you're not inside Ukraine, if you have a new legal entity created in Europe right after the war started, but still you're a Ukrainian founder. So we run it online. And one of the key things that we want to do as the reaction to the war overall as consortium and as one of the programs as well is to establish a good connection between Ukrainian startups and European tech ecosystem. And that's why in all consortium, like 1/3 is the Ukrainian accelerators, incubators, ecosystem players, and 2/3 is European. So it's a great chance for you as a startup to build your relationship and you build connection and understanding of European tech ecosystem. And once again and again, that's about new market discovery, validation, and matchmaking, which is generously provided by the Plug and Play to all consortium. So we can go to next slide. So the how long, I already explained that. It's going to be like 12 weeks out of 6 to 8 months of the whole program. And is it a MAS program? It's one of the MAS programs that can be happening. And there is a whole list of contributors, our partners that you can meet in many activities inside the Seeds of Bravery. Just to give them a round of applause once again, there's the Sunrise Valley Technopark, Aalto University, Aalto Center for Entrepreneurship, Erasmus Center for Entrepreneurship, Da Vinci Labs, and Plug and Play. So the key industries that the Seeds of Bravery is focusing on, I guess my colleague has already mentioned, just to make sure that as a startup you are eligible. We can go through that once again. But most likely, if you're fond of what you're doing and you are in one of these industries, you're more than welcome to apply. And so these are just the industries that all consortium was working with, that the health and life sciences, space tech, materials, IT, energy and climate, cybersecurity, AI and quantum, fintech, robotics, and agri-food. And I'm really waiting to see the moment when we announce the first batch, the first open call, because currently the open call 2 is open, and you will see how many of your Ukrainian colleagues have already been in the program and applied. So the timeline is generally also the same for the rest of the programs, because again, all of the master programs, there's so much linked to the schedule of the open calls that you can find on the web page, on the landing page of the Seeds of Bravery. So we all follow the same timeline, and in one of the guidelines, you can see the metro lines, and it explains how the programs work through the different application streams and the timelines. But overall, that's a big consortium of more than 20 programs. So specifically, if you apply as a startup to the Rebuild Ukraine program, then again, the Deep Tech Accelerator or the Deep Tech Booster will be one of the must programs for you. And you will have 2 milestones to go through once you're already in the program. And as a must program, we will help you and we will guide you to be a success, because everyone actually is here for you as a startup to be a success within this program. So the first is milestone for all the streams just the same. That's the individual follow-up plan, and the second one is in case of Rebuild Ukraine program, that's the feasibility study. And usually you will do the first milestone in the month 1, in the end of month 1, and the second milestone in the end of month 3. And so we can go to next slide just to do an overview of the system of the milestones that you will see in case you apply for Deep Tech Scale Up and Exploration stream. It's going to be 3 milestones. It's going to be a little bit of more work for you to do, but also more achievement behind that. So just the first milestone, just the same. Second is like KPIs set in the first IFP. That's a subject to discussion together with you at the startup, so that it will fit your interests and your targets of your overall growth in the bigger time frame. And there's also the third milestone, and you will define together with us as the MAS program and as those who will be responsible for the successful individual follow-up plan, whether you will do one of these. You will either go through the feasibility study or a business plan or proof of upscale in the TRL level, and you will need to decide that during the first months as well. So as a MAS program, we will guide you through that. And again, I will just encourage everyone to apply, because the whole program is huge. The whole program is here for you, and it's going to be lasting for quite many months till the end of September. So that was the Deep Tech Accelerator. You can always reach out to either vacuum email or general email of the Seeds of Bravery. So always ask whatever questions you have. Leave your comments under the YouTube recorded video, because it's going to be available after we do this session online. That's
Thank
it.
you so much, Anna. Thank you. Now we are moving to the next part, and our colleagues will present us entrepreneurship education and upskilling actions, science to business, and summer school for entrepreneurs. And I invite Kasper Somalnein and Olena Skirta to present both programs.
Olena, I think you're on mute. Casper, thank you very much, because I was on mute and you saved me. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here, and I'll present Science to Business. I think I'll be quick because I made 2 slides about this, and after me, Casper will present his program, Altus program. So Science to Business is program for scientists who want to commercialize their ideas or researches or projects that they develop in universities or institutions, and you can have a team, or you can be by yourself, but you are applying as a single person for the program, and as a result of this program, we will have pitches for scientists who will present their ideas actually in presentations for different audience, but for their potential partners or potential businesses with whom they can collaborate. We work for actually, we will have 4 programs, and we will work for 200 scientists. So we're waiting for your applications. We will have different application process done on the Seeds of Bravery project for all startups, because we are working for scientists, and we will communicate about this and have application application open. So please apply. The program will be open in the middle of July, and we will also communicate about this. So the program also will be online. It will have online lectures and workshops, but mostly this will work for scientists who want to, through this program, to develop their projects, and the core work will be practical, and you will just work on your projects, on your presentations, on your pitches, on how to collaborate with the potential partners and potential businesses with whom you can collaborate. And yeah, that's it. We will think of offline interventions, but we know that our audience is mostly online in different countries and cities. And after we will have first cohort of 50 scientists, we will communicate if we have something offline or not. Next slide, please. Our speakers are firstly from our partners, Alto, Erasmus Center of Entrepreneurship, EIT Health. Thank you very much for participating. And also our speakers are great scientists who actually made their way from science to business, or from science to deep tech startup, and they will share their journey, and I think they will inspire our audience to do the same. But also we are looking for scientists who not only want to make their businesses or startups, but also if you want to just commercialize your research, you sometimes don't need to start your company, but you can collaborate with business if you work in a scientific institution, and we will also work on this. So we will start with introduction to how to build your team, or find the right partners. We will work on how to make how to start with the scientific idea and turn it to actually working project. We will have a session on prototyping, customer validation, and feedback. We will have great actually workshop from our partners from SoftServe R&D department on opportunity mapping. They have incredible work how to take a scientific idea and turn it to business. And they have their own methodology, and they will share it during the workshop. Then we will have business model canvas, pitching, and we will finish with legal and funding for startups, and with final pitch event where we will also invite potential partners, potential businesses who can be interested in collaboration, and try to match scientists with this people for further collaboration. So middle of July, the program will start, and we will soon start the applications. See you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olena. And now I invite Kasper, who will present Summer School for Entrepreneurs opportunity.
Thanks, Yulia, and thanks, Olena. And it's definitely going to be a great program for scientists. And Summer School on Entrepreneurship is a very similar program aimed not at scientists, but really aimed for people with an idea and possibly a team. So it's really an idea stage accelerator meant to equip the participants with the foundational knowledge needed to start your own company around your own idea. And the goal is to give the participants relevant tools to continue then after the program developing their ideas into viable startups. And it's really with anyone with an idea who would like to set up a company. And it's not necessary to have a company to apply. And actually, if you do have a company, you might actually be eligible to apply for Seeds of Bravery financial support programs instead. So that's why we have a preference toward individuals and teams who do not have a legal entity yet, but are really in the idea or prototype or MVP stage currently. And as mentioned, you can apply as an individual or you can apply as a team. Both are okay. And the program is really short, intensive 2-week program organized by consortium partners from Ukraine, from Germany, from Netherlands, and us from Finland. It's going to run on weekdays, and there will be an average of 2 sessions per day. So basically 1 session in the morning and 1 session in the afternoon. And during the program, essentially the participants will get access to various workshops and mentoring, get to participate in peer feedback sessions, and they'll also hear panel discussions, both from entrepreneurs as well as investors, with the possibility to ask questions and really gain insight from industry experts. Now, if we hop onto the second slide and let's take a look at some of the topics of the program. It's a pretty comprehensive package on what to take into account when thinking about your idea as a potential business. So in the 2-week program, the first week really kicks off with inspirational sessions and entrepreneur stories, and you'll be hearing content from people who've actually already built their companies. And the purpose is really to get an idea on what it's like to be an entrepreneur and how to think about mission and vision regarding your idea. Then towards the end of the first week, we're going to start developing your idea with Lean Canvas, learn a lot about market research and customer discovery, and start really crafting a compelling pitch to potential investors. So that's in short week number 1. Then during the second week, we really hone in on team dynamics and the entrepreneurial ecosystem in general. We have a pretty great panel coming up on the importance of company culture, and you'll be hearing from entrepreneurs on how they've built their company culture in early stage startup teams. Then towards the end of the second week, we'll also dive into go-to-market strategy, and you'll be developing your own go-to-market strategy for your idea during the program. And before wrapping up, we'll talk quite a bit about fundraising, different types of investors, all the way from angels to VCs, and organize an investor panel where you can actually meet these investors and hopefully ask some tough questions and gain some insights on the fundraising landscape. Yeah, so overall, it's a pretty rewarding and packed 2 weeks with quite a lot of content going on. But at the end, we'll also give participants access to various online support programs and support materials that they can continue then using after the program in developing their idea into the business. And we're super excited about the program, and we hope you are too. And it's really going to be a great 2 weeks. So timing-wise, maybe lastly, that the program runs in late August this year, and the second batch will run in August 2025. And for this year's program, the applications are going to open by the end of next week. So in short, that's Summer School on Entrepreneurship. And I really suggest following the Seeds of Bravery social media, since all the brilliant programs that we've had so far, you can find information on them from there. And there you'll also find information on when the application link for Summer School on Entrepreneurship is live. So I really hope to see you apply, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Kasper. Thank you, Olena. And now we are moving to the next part, and I want to invite Michal Olszewski, who will tell us about female entrepreneurship and leadership programs. Michal, you're welcome.
Hello. Yeah, great to be here with you. It's very nice to see that there are so many multiple programs catering for different types of companies, different types of participants. This one that I'm going to present now, it's unique in a way because it's not really directed at companies. In a way, it's directed at the companies that are parts of Seeds of Bravery, that are accepted into one of the streams of the program or are holders of the Seal of Excellence. But the participants of the Female Entrepreneurship and Leadership Program are individuals from these companies. I will talk about this in a second, but we'll soon start the first batch of the program, and we'll soon start sending invitations to companies that are eligible to send their employees or founders to participate in Female Entrepreneurship and Leadership Program. Why are we doing this program? We identified that female founders, female startup founders, they face unique challenges that can impact their journey in a way and make it harder than for the average founder. We recognize those issues, and we believe that helping overcoming them, it's crucial for the future of Ukrainian tech ecosystem, and we would like to build together an inclusive and supportive environment that will result in more innovative and more resilient companies. Those issues that we identified are problems with access to funding, that venture capital, it's a male-dominated industry as a whole, and less investments are going to the startups led by women for some reason. So we'll try to work with the participants in the program and how to overcome it. We'll also work with them about overcoming gender biases and stereotypes. We'll help them prepare for negotiations, and we'll try to address the problem of running a business that it's responsible and it's environmentally or socially responsible, but at the same time, how to make it profitable. And this all together will be addressed via mentoring program. This will be a mentoring program where the female entrepreneurs and managers will have mentors, will be connected with mentors which are sourced all over Europe and in Ukraine from the successful entrepreneurs mostly, and in order to best address the individual needs of each participant, each mentee. The program will be individually tailored for needs of each person. And yes, so this is what we're going to do. Please, can you show the next slide, if possible? Yes, so this program will take. We plan to onboard 100 participants. Each of them will spend 12 weeks with their mentor. Plus some extra online session. All the sessions will be online, and in addition to the one-on-one sessions, there will be some group sessions for everyone. But most of the work will happen during the one-on-one sessions with individual mentors. The program is run by ECE, Funding Box Accelerator, and YEP Accelerator, with further partners joining soon after we signed the amendment. It's directed, as I said, to at Ukrainian female founders and C-level managers of startups and innovative SMEs that are taking part in the Seeds of Bravery. And we expect that the graduates will be ready to enroll in other mentorship and acceleration programs that are tailored for female founders. There's going to be at least 4 batches of this program. The first one of them will start in July. We plan to intake around 25 participants in each batch. Those are approximate dates that you see on the screen now. And yeah, I'm super excited that it's so close to the launch, and I hope that this program will enable Ukrainian female founders to be more successful in their careers and to make them better prepared for getting funded, for getting the right balance in their activities, and to having like all possible successes for the future. And that's it. That's what we're doing. Mentorship program for female founders and C-level managers.
Thank you so much, Michal. Dear participants, dear speakers, we come up to our Q&A session, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment box under our live translation. As for now, I do not see any questions. Hopefully everything is understandable to our participants, but we will wait a couple of minutes where we will have some questions. So I do not see any questions as for now, but dear participants, as usually, you can write to us per email, and we will be happy to share with you all the insights, all the necessary information. And we are coming to the end of our info day. Thank you all for your participation. Please subscribe to our social media and follow all the latest updates. Thank you all for the participation. Thank you, dear speakers, for your important insights. Have a nice evening.